So it's
Which
your,
one is it?
it's your testimony that no one was diverted from a criminal matter, that this was a top priority to go through these this material to look for Mr. Trump's name. Is that your testimony? That's the highest priority for the FBI?
What's one of the most impressive things about the FBI leadership and the careers that are in place is that they make the decisions on who to send where on priorities and make sure the mission needs are not hurt. And that's what happened here.
On September 17, 2025, FBI Director Kash Patel appeared before the House Judiciary Committee. It was his first House oversight hearing since his confirmation in January. He had spent the morning taking questions on violent crime statistics, the Charlie Kirk assassination investigation, and the Epstein files. He had given versions of the same answers he had given the day before in the Senate. Then Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren of California took the microphone. She started by playing a clip. It was Patel before he became FBI director, on a podcast, saying that Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book was under the direct control of the FBI director, that the reason the list had not been released was because of who was on it. Then she said, in contrast,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm concerned by reports that FBI agents have been diverted from their important work on crime and anti-terrorism to work on matters that are not critical to our safety. I'd like to play the video, the whole video.
Jeffrey
clip.
Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
So, but the Black Book, it's not just sitting, I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the Black Book.
In contrast to that attitude of let it all out, we're getting reports of actions that run contrary to getting everything out and that also involve diversions of FBI resources. For example, an FBI whistleblower reported that you were pressured by the Attorney General to place 1,000 personnel on 24-hour shifts to mine roughly 100,000 Epstein-related records to redact President Trump's name from the files. Bloomberg reported this, that you directed FBI special agents from the New York and Washington field offices to join the Bureau's FOIA employees in Winchester and another building a few miles away, and that while reviewing the Epstein files, FBI personnel identified numerous references to Trump in the documents, and people familiar with the matter said that Trump's name, along with other high-profile individuals, was blacked out. Now, the New York Times reports, and this is a quote, Justice Department officials diverted hundreds of FBI employees and federal prosecutors from their regular duties to go through the documents at least 4 times, including once to flag any references to Mr. Trump and other prominent figures. Details of the review were based on accounts by 3 former FBI and Justice Department officials who spoke on condition of anonymity because of fears of retaliation, and further that the FBI finished after they finished its review of the files and materials was sent to a team of Justice Department lawyers who double-checked the FBI's redactions and, quote, were instructed to flag any mentions of Mr. Trump and other celebrities. Now, I have 3 questions for you, Mr. Patel, about this. First, how many times did President Trump's name appear in the Epstein files? Was it more than 100, more than 1,000? Were the agents who were pulled from their duties to redact the president's name from the Epstein files working on criminal cases or national security cases or child sex trafficking cases? And are the number of agents that have been reported diverted for these purposes, is that accurate?
No.
No what?
You asked if it was accurate. I said it wasn't.
So you're saying that none of this happened?
No, I'm saying it was inaccurate.
Okay. How many times did President Trump appear in the Epstein files? More than 100? More than 1,000?
No, and what we've been able to release is what we've been legally able to release, and that has...
No, that's not the question. I asked you, how many times did the president's name appear?
I don't know.
It's your testimony. You do not know that
The
answer.
number of times? No.
Could you tell us how many agents were diverted for this task and what they were working on?
When you say diverted, you make it seem as if agents were pulled off what they do all the time. Agents at the FBI masterfully do double duty and triple duty. And because of the public's interest in this case, we flex resources to make sure that we could answer the public's signal demand. So do you want us to look through the material and provide it to you, or you do not want us to do that?
So it's
Which one is it?
it's your testimony that no one was diverted from a criminal matter, that this was a top priority to go through this material to look for Mr. Trump's name. Is that your testimony? That's the highest priority for the FBI?
What's one of the most impressive things about the FBI leadership and the careers that are in place is that they make the decisions on who to send where on priorities and make sure the mission needs are not hurt. And that's what happened here.
It's shocking to me that the FBI would think that erasing Mr. Trump's name from the Epstein files is a high priority when we have crime, we have national security threats, we have terrorism threats, we have murders such as that occurred, unfortunately, with Mr. Kirk. It's shocking to hear that that's your highest priority. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I
That's
yield
literally
back.
not what I said.
Let's go through what just happened, because Patel's answers deserve more attention than they got in that room. Lofgren came in with 3 specific documented claims. Not opinions, not theories, documented claims from named sources. The first was a whistleblower report to Congress, stating that Patel was pressured by Attorney General Bondi to place more than 1,000 FBI personnel on 24-hour shifts to review Epstein-related records. The instruction given to those personnel: flag any record in which President Trump's name appeared. The second was a Bloomberg report stating that Patel directed FBI special agents from the New York and Washington field offices to join Bureau employees at a facility in Winchester, Virginia, and at another building nearby, specifically to review the Epstein files. Personnel identified numerous references to Trump in the documents. Trump's name was blacked out. The third was a New York Times report stating that Justice Department officials diverted hundreds of FBI employees and federal prosecutors from their regular duties to go through the documents at least 4 times, including once specifically to redact any references to Trump and other celebrities. 3 sources, 1 whistleblower, 2 major news organizations, all reporting the same thing. Lofgren's first question was simple. How many times does President Trump's name appear in the Epstein files? More than 100? More than 1,000? Patel's answer: he didn't know. That answer is worth sitting with for a moment. The FBI director, who had just told this committee he reviewed the Epstein files, who had spent 2 days telling senators he was committed to full transparency on the Epstein case, did not know how many times the President of the United States appeared in those files. The files he had assigned over 1,000 personnel to review around the clock. He did not know the number. Lofgren's second question: were the agents who were pulled from their duties to redact the president's name working on criminal cases, national security cases, or sex trafficking cases at the time? Patel's answer was not a direct no, it was a reframe. He said agents at the FBI do double duty and triple duty. He said they flex resources. He said the public interest in the case justified the assignment. Then Lofgren asked directly, is it your testimony that no one was diverted from a criminal matter? Patel said yes, no one was diverted from a criminal matter. And then he said the thing that matters. He said this was a top priority. Going through the Epstein material to look for President Trump's name, that was a top priority for the FBI. Not his words taken out of context, his testimony, on the record, in response to a direct question. Lofgren's response was measured. She said it was shocking to her that the FBI would consider erasing the president's name from the Epstein files a high priority when the country had crime, national security threats, terrorism threats, and murders, including the recent killing of Charlie Kirk. It was shocking to hear that was the highest priority. Patel's final response was that she was mischaracterizing what he said. She was not. The transcript is in the congressional record. Here is what the record shows. The FBI director does not know how many times the president's name appears in the Epstein files. More than 1,000 personnel were assigned to review those files around the clock. Their job was to flag references to Trump. That assignment, according to Patel's own testimony, was a top priority. Not a side task, a top priority. And the July 7th memo that closed the Epstein review, the unsigned memo from the DOJ and FBI that said there was no incriminating client list, was issued after that review was complete. Patel said before he became director that the only reason the Epstein list had not been released was because of who was on it. He said the Black Book was under his direct control. He said there would be no cover-up, no missing documents, no stone left unturned. He does not know the number. The memo is unsigned, and redacting the president's name was a top priority. Subscribe and turn on notifications. The Hearing Files covers the record. This is The Record.